let's talk about fuck Scott Pilgrim takes off. Very nice. It's was a interesting take on what okay, when this whole thing got announced and when people started talking about it, and then we started learning about how Science Saru, which is the people who animated the movie Walk Girl, Night is Short, which is based off of a very good book, which has Asian Kung Fu Generation on it, and it was one of my favorite movies of that year. I think that was like 2019 or something like that because of how crazy and animated and exaggerated all of its animations were. If you ever get a chance, I should that earlier actually. Oh, hi. Then you should check it out. It really kind of shows off how creative those animators are and what they kind of bring to the table. So, when it was announced that those dudes would be making the animation, it really felt like perfection. And I was off the charts because in my head, I was going with the idea like, yo, man, they're finally gonna animate the mangas, or I call them mangas, but they're volumes. And yeah, man, we didn't get that. Um, and that's okay. See, the first time I ever picked up a Scott Pilgrim book, not this one, was in my high school library, and it I don't have it, so I can't show you. But on the back of the cover, it had a town, the town that they were staying at. It was super pixelated, and there was like pizza, and it looked very gamey. It oozed with style and like culture, like historical pop culture, for me to be like, ooh, that's a Mario reference. Ooh, that's like a Ninja Turtles reference or whatever. And it was this weird curiosity that made me pick up the fourth volume. This guy, the fourth book, right? So, if you've read the volumes, you would know that the biggest difference about Scott Pilgrim, where the movie to the mangas, would be about the part where Lisa shows up. Now, most of you are like, yo, what's Lisa? And I think that's kind of the point. There's this, it, Lisa pops up in an interesting time of Scott's and Ramona's relationship within the streets. They've been dating for a while now, months, I want to say, maybe like 6 or 9, and they're going through the honeymoon phase, right? They still are in the honeymoon phase, but they're starting to see cracks within each other and what lies underneath those cracks kind of makes them reanalyze who they are. And with the introduction of Lisa, which is Scott's old best friend from high school, the same friend who um, hung out with Kim and Scott and made the band, uh, kind of brings these older feelings of history. We call it history when you're out there in the dating world. So to me, Scott Pilgrim was always kind of like this interesting tale of a dude and this girl going through things, but you know, going through their own things, but also trying to, I guess, work together to help each other out. I guess is an interesting way to put that. Support is the main goal of a relationship, I guess. So that was really cool to see. I think someone growing up in that age and all that really, you grow up in a universe where everything is so romanticized, let's call it. But seeing something that felt more realistic as a high schooler really put perception into my view of how things were happening. And wouldn't you know it, that was the year where my middle school girlfriend and I broke up. Well, a couple years in, but yeah. So it was a whole shebang of kind of like understanding what the whole deal was and seeing how that kind of was addressed in the books, then never gets addressed in the movie was a bit of a bummer. But I understand the whole Hollywood and you can't shove a whole series. And also, Brian Lee O'Malley was still writing the ending for Scott Pilgrim by the time they were already filming the movie. I still remember that summer where like the posters were up and everything, and the sixth book hadn't even came out, and we were like, "Whoa, so what's going on here?" It was a fun little moment. It got an original ending, if you will. What is the will? You get the yeah, you get the little ending out there. That's pretty cool out there. So what am I saying? When when Scott Pilgrim the movie came out, it was this whole pop culture wave. No one saw the movie, by the way. No one saw the movie in theaters because I was there. And shit, I didn't even get to see the movie. My ex dragged me to go watch Inception, and I saw the ending of Inception. So I've never seen Inception, but I just bought it yesterday, or one of these days. And so nobody bought the movie, and that's what I say a cult classic, right? You ask anybody right now within our age range or whatever, let's call it the 20s through the 30s, and you'd be like, "You ever heard of Scott Pilgrim?" They'll respond. They will know of something that's like, oh, that weird movie with Michael Cera, right? Michael Cera, fuck yeah. Hey man. So pop culture, right? Created this whole explosion, and although it is one of probably my favorite movie or my most quoted movie, I love it to death. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it did a lot of damage, man. It really did, because the idea of condensing a whole series into a hour and a half, 2 hour long film, some things are gonna cut out, right? A lot of parts are gonna be left uh, unsaid, and a lot of opinions or a lot of emotions are not gonna feel expressed maybe the way that they wanted to. And although I do love that movie, goddamn, did it fuck up the world? There was even a band who wrote a song about how Ramona Flowers destroyed the universe or something like that. And it was this whole idea of like the scene girl popping in. The scene girl who's like the party girl, the cool, mysterious little girl, the Ramona Flowers. The universe wanted to be with Ramona Flowers, and the universe wanted to be in Ramona Flowers. And it's cool, it's fun. It's a cute little idea. But then you get into life. And obviously that's not what life is. There is no infinite uh you know free rent. There is no infinite hours within the day. You can't spend your life video gaming without caring the world. You can't just not work. You can't just not you know live this idealistic life that was presented to us. Because it is nice. We read entertainment for escapism, and we like escapism because it gives us hope, and it encourages us to do better in the reality, one would assume, one would hope. But there's something to say about a piece of work that can smack you in the face with these topics that make you twitch, that make you itch, that make you feel uncomfortable, because that is what growth is all about. Party does it. Party does it. Yeah, I'm enjoying this as much as you are, by the way. Cute reference. I just realized that for the promotional art in the Netflix takes off Scott Pilgrim takes off series, it is now a picture of Ramona Flowers holding a picture of a well drawn picture of Scott's hair. So I just want to point that out. Yeah. So again, kind of a bummer because Brian Lee O'Malley has mentioned before, obviously the creator of Scott Pilgrim, for all of you who are unaware, has mentioned before that the reason Scott Pilgrim hits so hard, or the reason that there's versus paparazzi, there's so much emotion behind the story, is because believe it or not, the whole story is based behind his past, his years in college, his friends, his time being a dumbass. um, that's important to note because it's been 10 years since the film Scott Pilgrim's the World debuted, and it's been 20 years since the anime, the manga series, comic book series was adapted, was presented, published. A decade is a long time. 2 decades is enough for us to start using smartwatches, 4K cameras the size of a charger. uh, I don't know, hybrid vehicles. Fuck if I know. A lot of things change, and things change very rapidly. So obviously, no person, no story, no experience will ever be the same. So what happens when a story says not yet? Which y'all? It's gonna be very janky. It's a pixel aided game, and this playback never shows pixelated stuff. Well, it's janky enough. Okay. Very early on when the movie came out, this little cute thing came out, and it was the coolest shit ever. I remember spending a whole summer with my asshole friends, high school friends, and just going through the game, getting secrets. I was super into it. I was, figured out that you have to hold square, and then you come into a Namanaguchi monster, and you fight Knife's Chow's dad, which is a really good reference again to Book Volume 4. But this is solidifies the idea that all Scott Pilgrim can be is a punching sandbag. You know, the whole point of this story is to punch your way to love. To beat the crap out of anyone who stands in your way, all in the sake of love. One of my favorite characters is Lucas Lee. Lucas, for all intents and purposes, was never a bad guy. No, he was with the girl that he thought would be with him until the moment that he realized his affection, his attention was just one out of many. So at the moment, he decides to work on him, to focus on himself. Work is a strong word because we all know he is not the model role person you would want to be. But Lucas lives his life in a way that's free, truly free. We can say Scott has all the freedom in the world because he doesn't have a job and he mooches off friends and blah blah blah. Lucas does whatever the fuck he wants because I don't know. Because why not? And it's all this that kind of really would make you think, yeah, that's an asshole. That's a bad guy. You don't want to be that's you're a negative person, whatever. But I feel like he had the most growth within the Exes. He never tried to be the main bad guy or anything like that. He just lived his life the way life told him to live it, and he became an actor because that's what he was good at. The point being, time changes people. We saw a different side of Lucas and Takes Off, a side that made me cement A, how cool he is, and B, how relatable he is, man. It's just a dude, you know, trying to work with what life has thrown at him, and he's just going with the flow. Going with the flow. So, when I say people change, people can't change. I don't think people really change. I think we choose to be better. We learn to not do things at the expense of others if we ever learn. So that's what threw me off in threw me off in Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. It's we're finally getting there, my dude. Everybody, me included, I was fucking ecstatic. Was ready for the Brotherhood of Scott Pilgrim, the full, oh, the full Brotherhood treatment of the manga series that we were all looking forward to, and are like, yeah, fuck yeah, it's gonna get animated, it's gonna look so good. Science Saru is doing the animation, it's gonna be beautiful, all this crap. And then episode two happens. Or was it episode one? It was episode one. From the very beginning. His gown. God disappears. You know? Oh, I knew things were up the minute the robot showed up because again, someone who read the series is like, yo, what is the robot from book five doing in in like the first part? Yeah. Oh no, episode two. Okay, so episode two. Episode two, I was right. They busted a Gurren Lagann, man. They switched out her boy and they left us with Ramona. As unbelievable as that sounds. Oh, it was episode one. As unbelievable as that sounds, they did it. They fucking pulled a Gurren Lagann. They derailed from the timeline and they did their own thing. A lot of people were not happy with it, and I think that sucks because if you knew the series, you would go with the idea that change was coming. Something different obviously was happening. But question, always a question, was why? No. Sorry about the audio. Um, listen, we talked about how O'Malley based the story off of his friends. Put yourselves for a moment in the shoes of your college roommates, your high school friend group, whatever, that super close knit group of people that you would hang out with all the time, and you just kind of assume that they would always be there. Now imagine if one of the dudes, maybe he was an asshole, maybe he was a funny guy, maybe he was like quiet type, maybe he was just the guy who was the guy, I don't know, publishes a novelization of pop culture history, and publishes a story about flawed characters who really suck, um, deep down don't really like themselves and maybe don't even like each other. Now imagine if this serialization got so big that they made a movie of it. And then that movie got so big that it just they got fucking Captain America to be in his movie, And sure, that was pre Captain America, but still, it's fucking Captain America and Captain Marvel. You kidding me, dude? Beautiful. But yeah, poor guys never had a chance. So like, yeah, man, it's like the idea of like you wrote this story to like make your friends happy, or you created this whole series to like, hey, I had the good times. Yeah, they're shitty, but they're good, right? And then your friends see it, or your friends see what has happened, and they're like, yo, dude, what the fuck? No, no, we don't want this. Like, why'd you write a story about us? And they all, ditch them. They all left there. I don't want to say all of them. I don't know what they're going through right now. But yeah, it's well recorded that those dudes were like, dude, no, I'm out. Like, that's not cool. And yeah, so it's kind of a bummer, man. So I don't know if he wrote it for like, reasons. Whoever, you could do whatever you want with your lives. You didn't have to need a reason to write it. He just wrote it, and that was a reaction. It's kind of a bummer. Like I said, it's just maybe all he wanted was a fun thing, and things just went differently. The road to pay the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Oh, it being a thing. Why? Why switch it up? Why make this a story about how losing Scott leads Ramona to go back to her own exes and talk things over? Can't make this shit up, man. It's beautiful. Uh, so yeah, I think, and this is just an opinion. Now we're just going by speculations. I think Brian Lee O'Malley really cared. I think he wrote a story about tough times he and his friends were going through, and maybe they were in a better place, but things were rough, or maybe he just needed, I don't know, to talk about them or something. But the reason I think that Scott Pilgrim, the Netflix series, really kind of cements itself as being perfection in a very shitty um evaluation of what's actually going on. It's not only did not only does it continue the story, it gives you a different perspective of each one of those group characters, giving them a voice in their side of the story, giving them an opinion, making them feel humanized rather than a villain. One could say it's an apology to a group of people who made this man's life all right, a comic story, bringing him memories that would last a lifetime, and now even many more.
Sweet.
I think
Love a
that's
song like
beautiful
that.
if it's, cool, and obviously maybe sometimes they're just making more money, but I think it's sad that a couple of the people who are very about Scott Pilgrim haven't hit the point in their lives to look at this and stop idealizing the series as a glorified punching show. There's more to the series. If you read the books, you would know. And there's more to life than just fighting for the one that you love.
Okay, well, I'm gonna leave you lovebirds to it. I am heading up to Casaloma to start
But
my hetero crush.
there's also a beauty
Will you man the hell up?
in the
It's
idea
not gonna
of
happen
being
today.
fought in for.
Well, if you strike out in
And
the next hour, come find me at the castle. If I strike
my
out, okay,
that's
then see you in
uh,
60.
my biggest gripe with the whole Scott Pilgrim series, whether it be just from the movies, the comic books does a better job of
Scott!
grounding things in
All
reality in
right,
terms of like
somebody get me a
personalities.
torch.
But the movie
Got it.
just
Big fan.
comes off as a
Love you.
simple-minded, oh, you fight and you get the girl, you
Cookies.
punch and you get the girl, or you
Kisses. 7 little kisses.
you throw away your
7
life and you'll get the girl.
deadly X's.
And that's not the way we
Exes.
do things IRL.
Why does everything have to be so
So
complicated?
it's cool,
If
I
you want
think,
something bad, you have to fight
that
for it.
this
What's your
series
game, Scott? Bring
took
out the L word. Last
that
name?
concept
The other L word.
and added the idea or the timeline, the storyline of, hey man,
Hey, buddy, look.
hey man,
If she really is the
what if the girl
girl of
fought for
your
the guy?
dreams, then you have to let her know. You have to
That's it.
overcome any and all obstacles
And
that lie
that's
in your
why
path. You can do it. Be
this fucking
victor.
show is the
It's your
best.
destiny. Plus,
So
I need you to move out. What? Yeah, I'm kind of banking on her calling you back so I don't have to evict you and feel
we
like
have a
I'm
different
cheating.
timeline. We have a group of people who I feel have been
Everything does.
characterized,
Or does it?
and
You
we
know?
have a
Oh, that'd be
series
nice.
that has still not hit
What's that? You're
its
outside?
conclusion.
This guy?
So where do we go from here?
You know what? He just left.
Selling out seems like
Really?
the most
Yeah.
logical step,
Sorry.
and maybe second season will suck. Maybe we'll finally hit that point in life where you become too
You just saw some guy
popular or too good for your own
and I
good,
apologize for that.
and you start selling out.
He apologizes
I
too.
don't know, man.
Sorry.
I would hope that
Scott,
Brian has
you know I love you.
better things.
But I'm gonna need my own bed tonight. It's for sex.
Um,
Right.
you know,
And
I
then me
think,
for the rest of the week.
I feel, and I would
Right.
love that
And the year. I get it.
because he has shown
You're
that
moving with
he's.
Ramona.
I don't know how many people wrote it. I don't know if it was just from O'Malley or if there was a team that
Just
is
because
helping
he's
them
better
out or
than you.
whatever.
Mm.
But
Either way, this
I
fight
would
is
hope
over.
that
Mm.
them taking this route and kind of like giving us a new interpretation proves that
It's for Scott.
he's not afraid to
For
do
you, big
something
guy.
different, and he knows what he's
Hello?
writing about.
Hey, pal. I just want to
That's
see
all
you
I can
from
really
the
hope
air for
for.
something. I don't want any hard
I
feelings.
think it's really
I
cool,
figured, why not
again,
be the bigger man?
that
Just give you a
the
call.
series
Is Ramona
focused
with you?
on Ramona and her
Oh.
her point of thing.
Are you with me?
Although I would have loved to see more punching
Jeez, buddy,
in
it's gonna be
in
alright.
super
Or I
well
just hope
done
you're more
animation.
like
I'm not.
Fletch.
I don't know how to express
Listen,
this, but
as you know,
these
most women
guys
get
are like
nasty.
my
Sex pops are pretty
most
grand openings,
respected
but it makes me feel
animators,
really
and if
weird
they
for all of us
actually
being really
try to
they
make
just hit a
like a
soundtrack and
really good
acoustics in
fighting
here are
scene, like a
amazing.
conclusion
Yeah,
scene,
maybe I'll see
I
you.
know they would
Hope so, amigo.
fucking kill
I
it.
don't want any more bad blood
So
between exes.
it's that idea that kind of like makes me
Okay, later, Des.
wanting,
What a
but
perfect asshole.
I absolutely adore and love what
Forget what
they
I said
did
earlier.
with what they have.
Finish him.
And again, man, I'm happy for Scott, dude. There's a whole new aspect of 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 answering the question, why would Ramona go for it? Why would she even care? And it shows that she cares, man. So that's cool. I think Brian Lee O'Malley really needed that one, and I think he did a good job, or the team or whatever whoever wrote it did a great job, and I'm excited to see more. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about how much people are disliking the idea growing up. So hey, get out there, have fun, stay safe. Remember, fighting for the girl won't always get you the girl. Fight for yourself. As we all know what happens when you lose yourself. It's an Eminem reference.